guys, it's Julie with Julie's Designs. Today we are going to be upcycling some items using IOD's new releases. I don't know if y'all checked out all their new releases, but they are very good, and I picked two of them to use in this video. The first one we're going to use is this Sprigs Stamp. I love this one so much. It is so my style. I can think of so many ways to use this stamp. It's just very dainty and pretty and has kind of, you know, a vintage feel to it, just depending on how you use it. So I am super excited to show y'all what I do with this stamp. And then a few weeks ago, I thrifted this like industrial looking box that did not have a lid, and I thought it would be perfect in my boys' room just to throw our blankets in. Then IOD came out with this stamp, and I'm like, okay, I need to use this. I feel like it's perfect for a boy of any age or a man, because my husband really loves this transfer as well. You get over 8 pages of transfers. So amazing. I love, love, love. This also has a very vintage industrial feel to it. So if you want to find any of these, in the description below, I will put a link so you can find a stockist nearest you. And I will also leave in the description all of the products that I use in the video today. Y'all make sure y'all leave a comment below and let me know what was your favorite project that I worked on today. Let's get started on these videos. I know y'all gonna love them. I love thrifting old books, and anytime I thrift an old book, I always look through it to see if I can find any amazing images in the book or money. It's never happened, but you never know. You definitely want to look. And I also pull out any blank pages that I find in the book, because they already have like this naturally worn age look on the sides that is really hard to recreate. So to pull out a page, you just want to get your metal corkback ruler and push it against the book and then lightly tear it out for a nice clean look. We're going to be using the blank pages for this project. I'm going to be using IOD's green ink called Newgrass. And when you order ink, you want to order a blank ink pad as well. And all you do is you put your ink on the ink pad and then spread it out. I don't always re-ink my ink pads every time, just when it looks like it needs a little extra ink. But you see how much ink you get in this product, so this will definitely last you a long time. And I really like this Newgrass color. It is the perfect color to use with this Sprigs stamp. When you get a new stamp from IOD, this is what it will look like. You want to pull off the protective covering, and then you're going to pull your stamp off the backer. It is on here very well. Just go ahead and pull it. Your stamp is not going to break. And I'm going to use this thin mount that IOD sells, and I'll put it right in the middle. When you're using a stamp for the first time, you want to take a light grit sandpaper and lightly rub your stamp. This will help your ink adhere better to your stamp. These longer sprig stamps are actually bigger than the piece of paper I'm using. So I'm using one of the smaller sprig stamps that fits perfectly on my paper as a size reference. And I'm just using painter's tape to tape off the part of the stamp that I do not want to use. Just make sure you go back and you wipe off any ink that you got on your tape so you do not transfer it onto your paper. Once your stamp is inked, you're going to turn it over onto the center of your paper. This is a flat surface, so it is really pretty easy to stamp. And once you have your stamp down, you just want to kind of make sure you lightly rub all the little sprigs to make sure the ink adheres. And y'all, look how cute. So the stamp makes it look a little bit thicker, but once you have the ink on it and actually stamp it, you can see these lines are so thin and dainty and pretty. I absolutely love it. And after you stamp, I immediately take a baby wipe and clean my stamp off. If you clean your stamp right after use, the ink usually comes off pretty easily. Because there's a long stem on these sprigs, I feel like you have several different size options. You can make it shorter like I'm doing by taping off some of the sprig, but you can also make it longer by adding more of the stem. So I actually made a piece for my bathroom, and I wanted a longer piece of artwork, so I just layered the bottom of the sprig, you know, 1 or 2 times to make the sprig as long as I wanted it to be. So you can definitely make these shorter or longer to work with whatever piece of artwork you have. I think that this stamp is perfect for resellers because it is an easy way to make a very beautiful, expensive looking print to put in any frames that you are trying to sell. You can also make a collection of these sprigs to sell all together, and that is exactly what I am doing. And if you go try to buy something like I'm creating in the store, you will easily pay upwards of $100 for a piece like this. And once you have the stamp, you can use it over and over and over again. Make some stuff for yourself, make some stuff for resale. I just feel like this stamp, you can get a lot of bang for your buck out of it. I really, really like this one and was so excited to use it and so excited to have this artwork in my house. To frame this piece, I'm going to be using this 11 by 14 frame that you can get at the Dollar Tree. I love these frames because it's just a simple black frame, and once you put a mat and a picture, it definitely looks really expensive, and you can't beat $1. And to mat it, I'm going to be using this Strathmore canvas paper that I picked up at a garage sale for $2, but you could also get it at any of your craft stores. I like it because it has a very pretty texture. When matting my pictures, I prefer to use something with a little bit of texture. I'm just using the back of the picture frame to trace out the size that I need my mat to be, and then I'm just going to simply cut it out with scissors. Really easy. Now, I'm not going to be cutting out the center of the mat. What we're going to be doing is just placing our picture on top of it. So I'm just using some stick glue, and I'm just going to glue my piece down. Really easy, and I love the contrast between the matte and my antique book paper. You're going to place your picture back into the frame. We're going to be removing the glass part. We're not going to be putting the glass on top of the picture because we're going to add a cute little detail that I do a lot in my house, and I just love the look of this. So these little clips I ordered off of Amazon, and also all the products, the IOD products and everything that I use today will be in the description below, so y'all make sure y'all check that out after this video. And we're just going to clip it to the top and the bottom of the picture. I am not going to be gluing these clips down. I've already glued the paper down, so I should not have to glue the clips down as well. But I just love this look. Like I said, I have a lot of it in my house, and I just think it's such a beautiful vintage look. Let me know what y'all think about this. For the second project, we're going to be making over this box. So the black on this box is not actually metal, it's wood, and it has some issues. I do want to keep it black, but in order to just make it look a little bit better without having to repaint the whole thing, I'm going to be using this black paint, and I'm just going to water it down and put it over the existing black. This is a really easy, quick way to make it look better without having to like perfectly paint the whole piece. You know what I mean? So this probably took me just a few minutes to get all the black freshened up on this piece. Now we need to get our piece prepped for the transfer. So before you put a transfer on, you want to put a water-based sealer on it. I'm using this water-based polyacrylic by Minwax. You could also use a chalk paint wax. And I'm just going to go ahead and put one good coat on here, and then it'll be ready for us to apply our transfer. Before I start cutting up the transfer, I want to show y'all how pretty it is. There's 8 pages for you to use. So we are definitely not even using close to the whole transfer on this project. So there will be still plenty of transfer left over for more projects. I love the big ship. So pretty. And I'm deciding to use a natural wood and black background, but I also think these would look amazing on a white background. I love the little sign language ones. So cute. And then you have all these letters and all of these numbers to use. I just cut out some of the images that I really liked out of the booklet. Then I started taping them on my piece to kind of figure out what I wanted the layout to look like. I knew I wanted some of the gears and globes and round stuff at the bottom. I want to use a little bit of type, and I absolutely loved the airplanes and thought my boys would also love it. So all your transfers you purchase from IOD will come with this little white stick that you use to be able to put the transfer onto your piece, like actually transfer it on there. So it comes with a white backer, and once you take that white backer off, it starts to stick to your piece. So do not pull off the white backer until you're ready, and that's kind of why I tape everything up, just to make sure the placement it is exactly where I want it. And then you're going to take your white transfer tool and you're just going to start transferring the images. And what I love about the transfer is you can go over different surfaces. So I'm doing it over the black, then I'm having it over the wood, and this wood is very textured. Like, it has lots of grooves and everything. And the transfer is really not having any issues sticking to it. If you saw my last video when I used the transfer, I did a spindle ladder and the transfer went on great. You just want to make sure you seal it, because when you seal your piece, that'll definitely make the transfer a lot easier to apply to your piece. Once you put your transfer on, you just want to kind of rub either your finger, your hand over it, or you can use the clear part of the transfer just to make sure your transfer has fully adhered to the piece. I want to show y'all this little part here where I got confident and was like, oh, I'm going to do 2 transfers at one time. I didn't realize that the clear part of the transfer was underneath the transfer that I was currently trying to put down. So when I pulled it up, it went onto the clear part. So whatever is underneath your transfer, that is what it's going to transfer onto. But you can layer transfer. So what I did was I just grabbed a small gear that was still on the 8 pages that you get with this transfer, and I just added that one on top, and you couldn't even tell that I had messed up that little gear. The only thing I didn't like is I feel where I did the letters, the explore word, it was just not enough contrast. So I think the letters would definitely look better on a lighter background instead of this dark wood that I used it on. But overall, I loved how it came out. I think my husband is going to steal this box from my sons because he really loved this transfer. So I have so much of it left. I might have to make something for him too. So I think this transfer is definitely great for all ages. You could make some decor for a nursery that would carry over as your child grows up. And you could buy a bunch of different pieces of furniture and decor and add little bits and parts of this transfer to it to make all these different pieces seem like one custom collection. This next part is completely optional. It's just personal preference, what you want to do with your transfer, which is once it's on your piece. But what I love is once the transfer is on, it is a part of your piece, and you can sand it and you can paint it and you can do whatever you want to it without worrying about your transfer coming off. So I love sanding my transfer. It does dull the look of it a little bit, but I find it makes it look like it just becomes one with the piece. Instead instead of just being something that's on top of the piece. Y'all know what I'm saying? So I am sanding my transfer with a very light grit sandpaper, and I'm especially hitting those edges where it goes from the wood to the metal. I just think it makes for a better transition when it's a little bit distressed right there. Then I'm going to take my Waverly Antiquing Wax. I'm sorry, y'all, that I had that can upside down. And I am going to apply this wax to the entire piece. And that just makes all the colors blend together. I love how it darkened the wood on this piece. I felt like it kind of gave it more of the look that I was going for in my boys' room. And the great thing is you have to seal your transfers once you apply them. So this kind of kills two birds with one stone. I'm giving it that antique look that I want with the antiquing wax, and I am also sealing the piece. I love the way this box came out. I feel like it fits in perfectly with the theme I have going on in my boys' rooms. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this transfer and how y'all think that this box came out.